How do you handle mistakes? And that's the focus of our discussion today on Leaders Arise. My name is Demola Awoyele, and I want to say thank you for being a part of this broadcast. Would you permit me to wish you compliments of the season again? It's my prayer that this season will usher in God's best into your life and to your family. And I want to say thank you for joining our broadcast since we started on this platform. Thank you for your amazing feedback and your contributions so far. We hope and believe that the coming year will yet provide us opportunity to learn together, grow together, and of course, fulfill destiny by the grace of God. Today, we're going to be learning something very, very pivotal and vital to our life and destiny. And I've chosen to capture it, how do you handle mistakes? Or simply put, how to handle mistakes. I have noticed that at times or sometimes mistakes are inevitable. The prayer I normally pray for people is that may you not make a mistake that cannot be corrected. May you not make a mistake that will mar your destiny. But from what I have learned over the years, that most mistakes are correctable. Most mistakes do not have to mar people's destiny. The problem most times is that people do not know how to handle such mistakes. So that is why I have chosen for a topic, how to handle mistakes. Let me begin by saying again that mistakes most times are inevitable. Mistakes are part of the processes on your way to mastery. Without mistakes, there cannot be mastery. Do you want to be a master? Then be prepared for mistakes. But most importantly, know how to handle such mistakes. For example, none of us became sound academically without having to go through moments of mistakes. For example, when you were still in your primary school or nursery school or all those elementary school, all right, that's why they didn't allow us to use what we call biro, a pen, all right. When we were still in our nursery school and early primary school, we were not allowed to use pen. Do you know why? Because they know that at that growing up stage, you are prone to mistakes. So we use pencil. In case you have been wondering, why are nursery school students, or primary 1, maybe to 2 or 3 students, are not allowed to use pen? Because they know that at that season of their life, they are prone to making mistakes. So they're going to use pencil, and an eraser will be handy, or a cleaner like we call it. So once you make a mistake, you clean it up. Like somebody said that it is the white man that makes pencil that also made the eraser. That's on the lighter mood. They don't have to be made by white men. Nigerians make pencil, we make eraser. So what that means is that an eraser or a cleaner is a constant companion of a pencil. And that's why for most pencils, there's always a cleaner at the tip or at the back of it, because they expect you to make mistakes. How amazing is that? God also expects that you will make mistake. You may not expect it, but God expects it. And senior leaders, those to whom you are looking up to, they expect that you will make mistake. But the question is, how do you handle such mistakes? And I remember a certain day, my daughter was doing her homework, and she kept making mistakes. She will clean, she kept making mistakes. She became tired, and she was literally crying that day. So I just looked in her direction and said, "Great, Faith, come, what's happening?" She said, "I don't know." She was just frustrated. That day I had to teach her a leadership lesson. I just drew her closer. First of all, consoled her and told her not to worry, that she will still get it. So I gave her the motivation she needed, and she brightened up. She later got on track, and she was able to do her work excellently. But it didn't mean she had given up, or she had no father or no senior person to encourage and help her or put her through That's how some people lost interest in schooling. That's how some people lost interest in mathematics. They say mathematics is difficult because when they started making mistakes, there was nobody to help them handle the mistake. So they just concluded that they can't make anything out of mathematics. And that mentality grew with them to the point that even at their adult age or adulthood, mathematics and themselves are still enemies. But these are people that could have become geniuses in mathematics if not that nobody was there to help them to handle their mistakes. So the first thing I want you to know is that mistakes sometimes are inevitable in life. Mistakes are part of the processes or process on the way to mastery. I was telling somebody that I churn out devotional every day, write-ups every day. And when I told the person that simple piece you see online every day, sometimes it takes me I have 10 different versions of it. Sometimes more than 10, sometimes less than 10. Say, wow, I thought you just write. I don't just write. I make mistakes, a lot of mistakes. I proofread and proofread and proofread. There are times that when I'm at the verge of sending it out, I have to proofread again. I will discover, I've made a mistake here. So when people see my piece online, I say, wow, Pastor, I love the way you write. I love the whatever. Somebody said that he has been looking for mistakes in my writing. He has not seen one. Of course, there are a few mistakes actually. Some have gotten back to me, Pastor, you made these mistakes. I made this mistake. I accept it. I'm not perfect, And that will be the second point I will tell you, that mistakes actually reveals that you are not perfect. It shows your humanity. It's only God that does not make mistake. All right. So, like I said, most of my material, like I said, I have 10 different versions of them. So what people see is the finished product. They don't see the process. If you have ever been to where an artist, that's why I think that most artists sometimes do not want you to enter their studio. You can discourage them. Because in their studio, they clean up, they erase, sometimes they forget a kind of writing, drawing there. They have to start another one. You will think they don't know what they are doing. But they will welcome you to their exhibition stand. The exhibition stand is the stand where their product is being displayed. But you won't know when they are in the studio trying to put up writings. But if you are there, you may think they don't know what they are doing. You may think they are not good. But wait until they come up with their finished product on their exhibition stand. So what am I trying to say today? Is the fact that mistakes are inevitable. They are part of the process that make for mastery. Number 2, mistakes shows your humanity. Perhaps you have been wondering if you are human or you are superhuman. Mistakes will let you know that, bros, sis, you are actually human. It's only God that cannot and does not make mistakes, because God is not man. So anytime you make mistake, let that just let you know that you are still human. Number 3, sometimes mistakes are supposed to humble us. The word humble there means to make us see the need for God. Some of us who don't know that we need God unless we are visited by mistakes. Yeah, some people think they are bigger or larger than life. They are flawless. They don't need God. I'm this, I'm that, I'm prayerful, I have first-class degree. God will necessarily permit mistakes. There are some spiritual people who have been very proud until they started making mistakes or until they made a mistake. It's really a mistake that everybody gets to know. It humbles them. And sometimes God really, really wants you to be humble. And God will do everything possible to teach you humility, either by information or teaching or by circumstances. You just get to be humble. That after all, I need God more than ever before. Number 4, personal mistakes help you to show humanity to others. You see, if you live life without making any mistake, you will think that those who are making mistakes are bad people. All right? You will think that. That's why sometimes when you move from failure to failure, before you now get to succeed, you will be empathetic towards other people who are failing. That was the same thing you saw about Jesus. The Bible said that Jesus could feel for us because he went through all that we went through, even though he was without sin. So mistakes are your opportunities for you to be human towards others or be humane towards others. You don't want to be necessarily hard towards people because you also have gone through the same thing. You have made the same mistake. I could encourage my younger daughter, all right, because I remember when I was like her too, I made my own mistakes. I couldn't have told her that she is not brilliant, she's unserious, that's why she was making the mistakes. No, I have made my own mistakes also. So there was no point making her feel that she was not. So it helps us to be empathetic, all right, to other people. It helps us to be humane in our approach and attitude, all right, towards the number 5, which is the last one. Mistakes help you to learn. Without mistakes, sometimes you can't gain superior knowledge. There are some knowledge that won't come to you unless via the channel of mistakes. I remember in those days, when solving mathematics, there are some approaches or formulas or whatever we eventually got in solving mathematics because we made a lot of mistakes. We weren't making headways until we just discovered that, there's another way to do it. So mistakes open you up to superior knowledge. There are some things you will never learn unless you make mistakes. So how do you undo your mistakes? Just 3 points, and I'm going to round up. Number 1 is own up. Don't deny your mistakes. Don't make excuses. All right? Don't do as though you didn't make them. Take responsibility for your mistakes. That was the difference between David and Saul. David took responsibility for his mistakes. He wasn't passing the ball. He wasn't making excuses. He wasn't blaming other people. David opened up. Take responsibility. Haven't known the 5 things I told you about mistakes. Mistakes do not mean that you are bad. It doesn't mean that you are unserious. It just shows you are human. It just shows you are dependent, or you should be dependent on God. And of course, it has a way of helping you to empathize with other people. So accept or take responsibility for your mistakes. Number 2 is to learn the lesson. Every mistake comes with its own lesson. That lesson perhaps is more important than the mistakes. If you focus too much on the mistake, you will miss the lesson. But if you focus on the lesson, you are going to gain mastery, as it were, over the mistake. Most of the time, we focus on the mistake. But in the midst of the mistake, there is the lesson to learn. Once you focus on the lesson and you learn the lesson, you are empowered to gain mastery over such mistakes. And the last but not the least, face the mistake. That's part of taking responsibility. Face it headlong. Like my daughter, don't keep crying and say, I'm not doing again. Once in a while, my daughter said, I'm not going to school again. I said, you will go. By the way, my daughter is very brilliant, but she's in a formative, the younger one, you will go to school, sir. Is it me? Where do you want to learn that from? Your dad went to school, your mom went to school. I couldn't have allowed her to make such permanent decision because of temporary emotion. She had a temporary emotion of disappointment, mistakes. She couldn't have. Why would I allow her to make a permanent? I'm not going to school again. I would like to that. That's true. Don't go. Say that. I cannot. Of course, I can't do that. Some people have stopped their life because of mistakes. No, face your mistake. Go back to church. Go back to ministry. Yeah. Go back and write that exam again. Go back to that project again. You made a mistake. Go back. There is no way you can overcome a mistake unless you face it headlong. And remember, you are facing it as a new person now. Someone who has learned from the mistake, someone who has learned to depend on God in helping him to move forward in life, and someone who is coming with superior knowledge. With these few points of mine, I hope I've been able to convince you and not to confuse you that mistakes are part of the process of mastery. I see you emerging as a master in your field of endeavor as you fulfill your God-given destiny. Thank you for being a part of this broadcast. I look forward to another amazing moment with you at the next episode. This is Leaders Arise. My name is Demola Awoyele. In case you have questions, comments, feedback, contribution, I welcome them heartily. Then, of course, like our page if you're on Facebook, subscribe to our channel if you're on YouTube, share this video to as many people as possible. Let's engage again at the next episode. Go right there. Become a master by handling your mistakes correctly. Bye for now.